Alright guys, we're finally doing part 3 on my repainted Batman figures. This is a look at the last guys I hadn't shown yet. I didn't want to repeat anybody, even though I've done a few things to some of the others. One of these is recaped, the other two are as they are out of the box. So I'm going to do it real quick. This is the Nightfall Batman, repainted. I darkened the gray, did not touch the yellows. I kind of like the yellows. I kept looking in the comics of that era, and that's about the shade of yellow. That is an OT custom cape, and I'm very grateful for it. Apparently I got in just before he sold out. I did paint on it a little bit. He kind of actually told me in an email that it would take acrylic paint, and it did. And I got it kind of blended in there with his neck. I think the color match is pretty dang good. Out of the box, if you want to see it, an unpainted figure, Raphael, and if you know who I'm talking about, you'll know. He just did a video. He just got this figure and an OT cape, and his enthusiasm and his information is wonderful. I don't want to repeat him, so go look at Raphael's review of the Nightfall Batman with the OT cape. That is an excellent video, and I really enjoyed it. The only difference in mine is it's just completely repainted. He has a different look, because that's what I do. And by the way, I kind of did mine in a sort of Jim Aparo nod to when I was reading comics, and I started collecting in '86 before the movie in '89, and Jim Aparo was the main artist, and they haven't done a nod to straight up Aparo yet, but this is close enough. If the ears were a little longer, it would even look more like Jim's work. And then of course we've got, you know, the Alex Ross Kingdom Come Batman. That's the old Bruce Wayne. I had a smaller figure. I guess DC did one years ago. I like this one better. It's bigger, bulkier. It has jetpacks, which is weird, but I don't mind that. I did a little bit of repainting, details on the belt. I darkened the little joints that I wanted the wings all black. It had silver joints, which was weird. And you know, a few other little touch-ups. I know I did his face, things like that. So that's the Jim Lee Kingdom Come. The one I really want to talk about, though, in a little bit more depth, is right here. Let's bring this guy front and center. I'll bring him over here. This is the Libre Mayo Batman that's in a weird group. I saw it at Walmart. I kept thinking, who's this weird armored Batman that, I hadn't seen the comics, that looks a little bit like the Pattinson Batman. And I've since learned influenced his look somewhat. And I kept looking. I finally learned who Libre Mayo was, and I was like, oh my God, his art is incredible. He mostly does painted covers, and he's done a few comics in recent days like Joker and he did a Noel, Christmas. Really amazing art, painted art. And when I found out who he was, I fell in love. I was like, oh my God, this guy's original. So I got the figure, but I was like everybody else. It's this weird olive green color in the card, and kind of ugly. It didn't lend itself to a Batman to me, like a military Batman. I said, well, all right, if you get him, let's do this. We're going to gray him up, and we're going to dirty him up. This guy was crying for dirty. I did kind of clean his belt. I think his belt looks a little better with a little more yellow shade to it, standing out a little more. I kind of brought out the belt bat and did some detailing on the chest bat, which I felt was probably armored. He's got a huge batarang, but I liked him holding something. But you really, if there's anything I did, was I added dirt, splash, debris, especially on his cape, which is tattered looking. And look at this cape sculpt. This is one I will not be adding a secondary market cape to. I mean, look at that. That's fantastic. It has so much character, and a character that matches the armor and the detail that I dare not change it out. You could, but I'm not going to. I love this figure just the way he is. I repainted his face, gave him some eyes instead of the white eye thing. I just wanted to see his eyes in there. And I learned that I was a fan of a new artist. This guy I think is great, and I've actually got a couple of his comics coming this way. I've ordered some, so I think Damned is coming. Anyway, and this is part 3 of the repainted and recaped Batman series. I'm going to move on to some other stuff now, and if we come back, I might do an overview of the entire collection with just music. I don't think I need to say anymore. And I just hope you guys have enjoyed these 3 videos. They're really been fun. I have, of course, recaped and repainted others. The movie set will be coming. I'll get those, Keaton and Clooney and Kilmer and those guys. I'll get those guys and do some fun with that. And there will be capes from secondary market with that. But in the meantime, this is the regular comics style guys. And I've really had a blast. If I may add a few more, there's obviously other artists I have not touched. But for now, this is the set, and I'm going to move on. So I hope you've enjoyed these groups, and comments, please. Subscribe, please. And look into capes. OT Customs is great. He did this one. My go-to girl, Batgirl 31, is excellent. She's done capes on almost everything I've got otherwise, and she's fantastic. I'm always going to give her a shout out. And there are other cape makers out there that I drool for, so one day I'm going to show the case those too. But thanks to OT and thanks to McFarlane for making such badass figures. These are fun, man. I love repainting them. So take care, and we'll see you next time.